Hi, everybody. Welcome to another dispatch. I am speaking to you from my house. This is not my studio. You can probably tell a little different. So I thought this week I would bring something that I've been interested in reading for a little while now. This is, well, it's backwards. Maybe it's not for you, but it looks like it. The Path of Beauty, a study of Chinese aesthetics by Li Zhehou, Zehou. And I think I found this book through Michael Brenson, reading Michael Brenson. He's the fellow, he was a critic for the New York Times, and he put that beautiful book together. Anyway, he wrote the text for an interview on Antonio Lopez Garcia Rizzoli back in the 90s. And I've been really interested in Chinese aesthetics for some time now. A couple of years ago in the reading group, we were looking at landscape painting, calligraphy from the 12th century. And is this recording? Yes, hello? Yeah, good. I don't know, always a little. Anyway, yeah, 12th century China. And it was like stuff that was being developed here in the West in like the end of the 19th century into the 20th century and modernity. And it's like, wow. And yeah, so, okay. So I feel like, oh, and like Bryce Martin, went into it, and it's like something in there. Okay, I think it's time. So thought I would just jump in here to read you something a little shorter. This is on landscape painting of the Song and the Y-U-A-N, Yuan, which is when? When is that? I don't know. Oh, here. No, I don't know. Things to learn. Chinese landscape painting has not remained unchanged during its 1,500 years of existence. Just in the two dynasties of the Song and Yuan, it passed through three important stages corresponding roughly to the Northern Song, primarily its early period, the Southern Song, and the Yuan. It goes on, but I'm going to jump. So we get to something interesting. I mean, it's all interesting, but Jing Hao, H-A-O, believed that formal resemblance was not enough. The spirit of a natural object must also be expressed. He described the relationship and difference between resemblance and true representation as follows. Resemblance is capturing the physical aspects of an object, but neglecting its spirit. A true representation possesses both spirit and substance. Notes on brushwork. I guess that's where it's from. In other words, resemblance is not true representation because the latter must reveal the inner spirit, quality, and charm of the subject. Charm, it's a funny word, charm. Matisse, the translation for Matisse also uses charm. This means that rhythm and spirit, or rhythmic vitality, originally put forward as an aesthetic criterion of figure painting in the 6 dynasties, should be applied to landscape painting as well. Enriched with new content and connotations, it eventually became an aesthetic criterion of all Chinese paintings. Artists must not be content with reproducing only the external form of an object, or just achieving formal resemblance. They must try to capture its spirit and inner quality. This required that the scene or object be observed, grasped, and depicted in a realistic, yet generalized way. Though rhythmic vitality was stressed as the most important criterion in aesthetics, artists were also called upon to make detailed observations of the physical features of a natural scene and to arrange carefully the composition of their paintings. They were asked to pay special attention to what mountains and streams look like, how they appeared from a distance and at close range, how to depict spring, summer, autumn, and winter, clear and cloudy days, hot and cold weather, morning and evening scenes. In a word, the numerous changes in the world of nature, along with changes in climate, time, place, and aspect. While all this required minute and accurate observation, it did not mean there was no room for flexibility. For while there is a general visual difference between morning and evening scenes, artists did not have to be exact in the hour. Right, I'm going to skip a little piece here. Wait, nope. Okay, whether a northern or a southern landscape, hilly land or waterside village, there was no need to be so exact as to portray only one particular mountain or stream. Irrespective of the season, climate, day, hour, location, or object, what was requested was not only realism, but a high degree of generalization. This is one of the most important characteristics of Chinese landscape painting. As Guo Ji, landscape painter of the northern Song, wrote, "Real hills and streams are like smoke and vapor. They differ from season to season. In spring, the hills are light and seductive, as if smiling. In summer, they are green and moist, as if dripping. In autumn, they are clear and bright, as if dressed up. In winter, they are barren and silent, as if slumbering." The painting gives the general idea, but does not sharply delineate the details. End of quote. This approach might be called imaginative realism. The realistic portrayal of images evoked by a scene or object when the general idea is grasped and the artist's feelings infuse his work. It is not just the realistic portrayal of physical form, as perceived directly by the senses. This kind of realism does not produce the kind of direct effect on the sensory organs that Western painting does. It allows the viewer greater freedom of the imagination. As such, it might almost be said to resemble a hallucination. That was interesting. Anyway, something to think about. Rhythmic vitality. I'm going to think about rhythmic vitality. All right. Well, I hope you're all well. Making stuff. I was in the studio earlier. Didn't have a chance to do this. But now I'm here. Okay. Hope you're well. Take good care. See you.